Illinois.
Well, Mitch, that's because they're scary. And they're scary because they can score a lot of points in a hurry. They want to get it off the glass, and they want to go. And they love to shoot the three. Their guy from beyond the arc is Shane Hawkins. He has smashed the Missouri Valley three-point shooting records, over 300 in his career. He had a big night last night, 6 for 7 from beyond the arc for 20 points. And his backcourt running mate, Rashad Tucker. Check out those numbers. A triple-double last night. These Southern Illinois seniors are stepping it up tournament time.
And yet Illinois State, Debbie, has been dominant in the Missouri Valley Conference for 2 years. They are 33-6 in this league of the last 2 seasons.
Hey, Mitch, there's no question they proved they are the best team in this league. They won the league title by 4 games. Their challenge is to play the best basketball that they can. Tournament time to get ready to advance. Their man, Rico Hill. He is the MVP of the league. He leads the league in scoring, and he does it all. He is tough on the blocks. He can face up and bury the tray, and he goes to the glass every possession. The guy is dangerous at the offensive end of the floor.
Illinois State also has the Missouri Valley Conference's version of Cal Ripken. This is the 124th consecutive start for Dan Muller, who is also one of the great defenders in all of college basketball. Actually, they were going to start Steve Hansel because Schaefbauer has a deep quadricep pull in his leg. We'll talk about that as the day goes on. Leroy Watkins in the middle. We talked about Muller and Hill. Also, Jamar Smiley, one of the great assist leaders in Missouri Valley Conference history. For SIU, we talked about Tucker. We talked about Hawkins. Monte Jenkins, potentially dangerous for Southern Illinois. Also in the middle, Derek Tillman and Chris Tennell, who was listed as the Missouri Valley Conference Newcomer of the Year yesterday at the Missouri Valley Conference Awards banquet. Our coaches today feature Rich Herron for Southern Illinois in his 13th season there. Prior to that, 25 years at Benton High School. He's 3rd all-time in the Missouri Valley Conference in wins with 230 victories. And on the other side, for the Illinois State Redbirds, there's a look at their huddle. The Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year named yesterday here at the same banquet I mentioned earlier. Kevin Stallings of Illinois State, the NBC Coach of the Year. He is 3rd all-time in conference history in winning percentage in just his 5th year at Illinois State. So, Debbie, we have our first adjustment of the afternoon, and that is Skip Schaefbauer will not start the game, and Steve Hansel will start in his place for head coach Kevin Stallings.
With Schaefbauer not in the lineup, what you lose is a little three-point shooting ability. That guy can knock him down. But Hansel was last year's 6th man of the year in the conference, so he definitely knows how to play and has started several games this year.
We mentioned the danger of the 8th seed Southern Illinois in tournament history. SIU actually has a better record against Illinois State. 3-2 are the Salukis against the Redbirds, winning in the 95 semis, the 93 finals, and the 89 semis. Illinois State beat SIU in the 1990 finals. And the Salukis will have it first to start the tournament. Tucker with a miss, and Smiley will bring it up for Illinois State.
Both teams starting out in the man-to-man.
Smiley with the miss. Tennell, the conference's leading rebounder, with the board for SIU.
Southern Illinois wants to force the tempo. They want to get this thing up and down.
And the player there is Rico Hill.
I think that's making a statement early on in this basketball game right there. Defensively, they turn the turnover into big 2 points the other end.
We need to tell you, last night, Southern Illinois, the 8th seed, beat the 9 seed in a play-in game. Northern Iowa, 91-72. Tucker creates, and he'll get +1 here. A foul on Illinois State.
Well, they're really giving him a cushion at the top of the key. Watch Tucker create. He's got room to operate. He crosses over, and then he just takes him to the hole strong. That is a great finish right there by Tucker. He's just finishing where he's left off last night.
Leroy Watkins called for the foul for Illinois State. Tucker completes the three-point play, and the Salukis have their first lead of the game. Just underway here at Kiel Center. Muller for 3. He's the all-time three-point maker, I should say, all-time three-point makes in Illinois State history.
You can't give him that open of a look. Great down screen to free him up at the top of the key.
Tucker trying to tie the game. Muller, and here come the Redbirds on the run.
Southern Illinois got a little bit lucky there. Hansel lost a handle in transition.
The strength of Leroy Watkins comes to play. It'll be a foul on Rashad Tucker of Southern Illinois.
Illinois State is so good at attacking the basket. You've got to pick them up in transition, and you've got to make them play a half-court offense. Kevin Stallings has done a great job of running this program the last 2 years and making Illinois State really the biggest threat and a scary team going into NCAA tournament play because of the way they're so prepared to play.
Illinois State a good free throw shooting team, as most conference champions are, but Watkins the exception, 65% at the line, senior from Chicago. Battled some shoulder problems earlier in the season. With both misses, the Salukis have a chance to tie with a 2.
It's a big matchup right there. Smiley on Hawkins. Smiley's not going to give him any room to breathe out there beyond the arc.
Shane Hawkins in the 2 regular season games struggled against the Redbirds, and Rashad Tucker not able to get a putback. Southern Illinois, Debbie, a relentless rebounding team.
Oh, they're so good, Mitch, because they go to the glass every possession. You'll see 4 guys getting in the paint on the offensive rebound.
Rico Hill with a pull-up. SIU, now this is a team that's 14 and 15. They were only out-rebounded, as you alluded to, one time all season.
They're going to get it off the glass and go. They're not going to waste any time with the outlet pass because all the guys on the front line can handle it and take it to the middle of the floor.
5-3 Illinois State. We've played 2.5 minutes here in quarterfinal game number 1, the first of 4 today. Nice backdoor look, and Jenkins at the finish. Monte Jenkins only had 1 point in 23 minutes against Illinois State in normal, as his first 2 of this game. Muller with another good 3-point look, his second in the last minute and a half.
Muller's so good moving without the basketball. They look for him at the top of the key. Another great down screen to free him up.
Muller, 42 3-point makes this season. Tennell will try to answer.
Now that's not a good 3 for Southern to take. They can take that 3 anytime that it's open in the offensive end. Tennell needed to get a few more touches on the basketball.
And Rich Heron, I think, is articulating that very fact to Tennell.
What a great guy, Rich Heron. He says, you know, we're going to come, we're going to play. If we play well, we're going to win, but we're going to have fun while we're here.
Good defense there by Southern Illinois, and there's Kevin Stallings. Played at Purdue, assistant at Kansas, assistant at Purdue with Coach Katie. And 5 years of winning, and winning big at Illinois State.
That guy's been around some great basketball minds.
Illinois State patient here. Great double team, but it's last touch by the Salukis.
That's great help right there on the back screen. Was Tillman rotating over to help out.
22 to shoot for the Redbirds. They have a lead of 8-5. Muller 6 of the 8. Hansel starting for Schaefer.
And here's the discipline coming into play, Mitch. Right there, you got 5 passes at the offensive end, and you get the look that you want. They don't get much more high percentage than that.
You mentioned Illinois State being so good in the early offense. If it's not there, is it a club that wants to make Southern Illinois guard them for a while?
I absolutely think so. That's a great point. I mean, they're good in transition. They got all the quick hitters. They can score on screen. But they also are good in the half court and can run their disciplined offense.
Dan Muller, a couple threes here, and Illinois State leads 10-5. Illinois State leads the 8th seed. Southern Illinois here at Arch Madness, 10-5. And Illinois State given a new definition here, Debbie Antonelli, the touchy-feely.
Hey, these guys know how to run their offense, and they work the ball around the perimeter very well. They've got spacing, they've got the ball reversal. Then watch how much attention Rico Hill demands in the offense. Look at the great touch pass inside, and Watkins with the finish. That's what you call unselfish team disciplined basketball.
These two teams I mentioned met in a couple finals. The last time a Missouri Valley Conference was played on campus was 1990. Illinois State beat Southern Illinois 81-78 in Normal. And here's Leroy Watkins with his second consecutive bucket, and the Redbirds lead by 7.
Watkins is a wide body down low. Southern's got to keep him off the sweet spot. They can't allow him to camp out on the block.
Monte Jenkins, great ball fake, fouled by Kyle Cartmill, and they're going to count the basket. Kyle Cartmill made the All-Missouri Valley bench team, but that time committing the foul, and Monte Jenkins with 4 early, and he'll go to the line.
Jenkins has the great ability to create for himself, and that's a big part of Southern's offense. You've got to be able to create off the dribble. We haven't seen Hawkins get a look yet at all from the floor, but Jenkins and Tucker are so good off the dribble they can do it themselves.
Jenkins can explode on occasion. He had 30 against Northern Iowa in a road game earlier this year. But Illinois State has held him in check in the 2 regular season games this season. 12-8. Illinois State with the ball in a 4-point lead at 15-14 remaining first half. This 2-man game going, but a foul on Southern Illinois.
Illinois State is working really hard to establish a presence on the blocks. They're looking to get the ball inside to Watkins, and he is moving well without the basketball inside.
Foul on Monte Jenkins, his initial foul of the game.
You can't leave Hill unguarded on the out-of-bounds play. That's just a little sloppy defense right there by Southern Illinois under the bucket.
Illinois State, a very good team on inbounds plays. I'd like to see their ratio of scoring on inbounds plays. It has to be very high. Rashad Tucker, and there's SIU all over the boards. Finally, the tip by James Jackson.
They're so athletic, and they go every time. They have great will to rebound.
Smiley throws it away. Now, Jamar Smiley, #1 in assists in the conference. 2nd all-time in the Missouri Valley Conference in assists. Only Anthony Manuel of Bradley with more in MVC history. But there is occasion, Debbie, where he'll turn it over like that.
Well, you know, he's got to get the feel and the flow. Right now, offensively, they're doing a great job of getting ball reversal and getting the shots that they want. They don't need a quick shot offensively. That's what Smiley was trying to do in that possession.
Jenkins, good box off by Dan Muller of Illinois State.
Illinois State, here we go with tempo right here. There's Smiley doing a much better job, taking the ball to the baseline to try to flatten out the defense.
Watkins ugly from the foul stripe. It's out of bounds to Southern Illinois. 14-10, Illinois State leads. We played 6 minutes.
Southern Illinois 42,
Illinois State will go to the bench. Kevin Stallings has the best bench in the conference. Rob Gibbons will come in the game. And there is Skip Schaefbauer, the man who has the quadricep pull. Only played 9 minutes Monday night against Northern Iowa. Actually injured a week ago in a game against Creighton.
That guy can really light it up from beyond the arc. I don't think it matters that he's a little bit ailing. He doesn't need to be 100% the way he shoots it.
Lance Brown in for Southern Illinois at point guard. Rashad Tucker, what a move.
Tucker is having his way in the middle of the floor. Illinois State's got to keep him out of the middle. He's doing too much damage inside.
What a sweet scoop. And Gibbons inside. Big for Illinois State.
That's just great ball reversal. Get the angle that you want, and Gibbons did a good job of sealing inside.
16-12, a well-played game here early in the quarterfinals. 13:28 remaining in the half.
And Illinois State's gone to the zone. Zoning it up in this possession right here.
And why the move here to the zone, Debbie, in your opinion?
I think they're trying to do a better job of protecting the paint and keeping Southern Illinois off the glass.
Shot missing. Rashad Tucker. Hansel with a weak side board.
Dribble penetration is killing him in the middle of the floor.
Schaefbauer, yeah, he's all right.
There you go. That guy's not hurt too bad.
His 66th three-point make of the season. 4th in the Missouri Valley Conference in three-point shots per game. Illinois State leads by 7 as Skip Schaefbauer popping the 3. He had 3 threes against Southern Illinois earlier this season in a game in Normal, Illinois. This telecast is authorized under the rights is prohibited. Kevin Stallings' club 3 of 3 from three-point range, while SIU is 0 for 3.
That's big for Southern Illinois. It's a big part of their game. When they can shoot it well, it covers up some of the other areas that they may be weak in. Illinois State back in the zone. I think that's a good move by Kevin Stallings, trying to get a little double team and a trap on the sideline.
Tennell fights a 5 count. Ends up finding Tillman, who'll bank it in.
And you know, Tennell handled the pressure very well there, stepping through the trap. But with Lance Brown on the floor for Southern Illinois, Illinois State's going to look to put some pressure on Southern.
As Southern Illinois resting Shane Hawkins at the moment. Schaefer turned down by Tucker on the 3. 15 to shoot for the Redbirds. The Birds lead by 5. Deep 3, Schaefer. Not this time. Tucker all by himself for Southern Illinois. Now Jenkins. Enrico Hill over the back of Rashad Tucker.
Tucker getting excellent rebounding position. Tucker last year played the 4 spot, really not his natural position. This year, Rich Herron moved him out to the perimeter to play the 3 spot, where he has become a much better rebounder from the perimeter. You see great position inside by Tucker, and there's Hill over the back. Hey, Tucker is having a good basketball game. He's getting some good looks. He's moving without the ball, and he is dangerous in the middle of the floor on penetration right now.
Last year, Tucker had 10 double-doubles. This year, just 3, and last night, triple-double. An opening round victory over Northern Illinois. But so far now, he's putting games back-to-back, at least for the time being.
Illinois State back in the man.
Tennell can shoot the 3.
See, that's big for Southern. When you got a guy playing the power forward spot that can step out on the perimeter and knock it down, particularly with Gibbons on him for Illinois State, that's kind of a mismatch on the perimeter. Southern needs to exploit that.
Tennell's 52nd three-point make. Muller trying for the 3rd time in the game and has it.
You know, that's just work off the basketball, Mitch. That's all that Muller is doing, is working and moving and getting open. That's his 3rd from the top of the key.
9 points, and now an answer. Rashad Tucker with the 2. He has 7, and Illinois State's lead is 3. 22-19 Illinois State at 11:10 remaining in the half.
This is the tempo Southern Illinois wants. They want it up tempo. They want to get this thing up and down the floor.
Illinois State again being patient, but Tucker flips it away from Smiley. What about Rashad Tucker? 9 first-half points for Southern Illinois.
This is the tempo they want, Mitch. We're talking about Rich Herron's club, getting it up tempo, letting their defense create some easy opportunities for them at the other end. You don't get easy buckets against Illinois State very often.
Schaefer, good ball fake. Finds Watkins inside. Leroy Watkins has 6 in the first half.
Watkins is the guy right now they're going to. I mean, they're looking to get some points. And on made baskets, Illinois State's falling back into the zone. And on misses and turnovers, they're getting back into their man.
Redbirds showing a half-court zone look again. Birds lead by 3. And we're midway through the first half. Good feed, Tucker. Tennell, great defense by Watkins and also by Gibbons of Illinois State.
You got to stop the basketball. Nobody picks up Smiley.
And a turnover by Smiley, but Rashad Tucker is backing up his triple-double from last night and giving SIU a chance in this game. The Salukis trail the 1 seed by 3.
Frank, I'm thinking about moving to another.
But with 3 turnovers.
You can credit all those to Smiley. But right here, watch Tucker operating in the middle of the floor. Illinois State's got to keep him out of the middle. He's doing too much damage inside. Check out this look right here against the zone. Tennell flashes open on the baseline. He doesn't finish. But what we're seeing is Tucker, given a cushion, having the ability to have vision and see the whole floor, and his numbers are very good last night, and they are very good right now. And what those numbers don't show is how good he has been in the open floor with the basketball and creating.
Debbie, if there has been criticism of Rashad Tucker, it has been that his game kind of comes and goes. So far, through the first game and portion of the first half, Rashad Tucker is playing very interested in this tournament.
Well, you know, that's a shame if that's the rap on him, because it should be. The guy's got all the skills and talent to play, possibly at the next level, with some improvement in certain areas like his outside shooting and his physical strength. But if a guy like that has the tools to be able to play ought to get motivated a little bit more.
Take a look at the field goal shooting. Illinois State 10 of 14 and yet just leads by 3. At the line is Derek Tillman for Southern Illinois. With the miss, he's just 42% at the line for the year and was 1 of 3 last night in the victory over Northern Iowa.
One of the keys in the game, we talked about rebounding, controlling tempo. I say the tempo right now is in Southern's favor, although they're trailing. Illinois State is so productive with the basketball. 10 of 14 from the floor is very good. There's no question that they're ready to play today.
Near steal. Hansel saves it. Smiley. Southern Illinois right now poking everything loose from Illinois State.
They're very active on the basketball.
And yet Rico Hill finds his teammate underneath Leroy Watkins. Watkins has the bucket and is drawing the foul. What about the play by Rico Hill?
Hey, look, Watkins right here. He's the guy that's getting it done in the paint. Check out how active Southern is on the basketball, but Watkins finishes inside strong. There's no question that Southern or Illinois State has established Watkins down on the blocks. He is getting on the sweet spot down low, and they are not moving him off. They've got to do a better job of denying him the basketball.
Watkins missing the free throw. Rico Hill diving out of your picture. Trying to save it, but can't. And Southern Illinois will have the ball, trailing 26-21.
Watkins working hard. He's going to take a breather. I don't think Coach Stallings is going to keep him on the bench for too long. He's got 8.
And only averages 9 per game on the average for the season. Illinois State trapping Tucker. Canal, a 3 from the corner.
And Illinois State switches on the ball screen, and they don't recover quick enough to put a hand in Tunnell's face from beyond the arc.
26-24, Illinois State by 2. Tunnell with 6, both on 3s. Nice backdoor for Hansen.
Great backdoor. You know, Tucker did his job. He forced Illinois State backdoor. He just didn't get any help on the weak side.
Big crowd on hand here at the Kiel Center. Quarterfinal game number 1. James Watts trying to post up, and Hansen pry it away for Illinois State. 8 minutes remaining in the half.
Good D in transition by Southern Illinois. They stopped the basketball and made it difficult for Hansel to get a good look.
7:48 remains in the half. Illinois State leads by 4. Watts with a mismatch. Had a guard on him, but couldn't hit the shot.
Great box out by White inside.
And a foul on Watts, muscling up on Rico Hill underneath.
It's a battle for the high real estate property inside, that's for sure. It's very valuable territory inside near the basket.
Need to step aside as Illinois State has a 28-24 lead. Bombs leads Southern Illinois 28-24 with 7:30 remaining in the first half. A reminder to look for the Rawlings play of the game later in this afternoon's telecast. Could be the winning shot, a big rebound, a key defensive move. We'll show it to you on the Rawlings play of the game. You see the Arch Madness banner here. This is such a great arena. And this conference tournament, Debbie, you and I have been to a lot of conference postseason tournaments. It has a feel of an NCAA regional to it.
Absolutely, it's first class. The people here running it for the Missouri Valley Conference office certainly know what they're doing. They've run a lot of first class events, as well as NCAA tournament events as well.
And they will this year. They will host Midwest Regional in this very building coming up in a couple weeks. 19 to shoot. Hansel loses it. Hawkins got it, and Hansel fouled it. The Brit, Steve Hansel from Birmingham, England, called for his first foul. 5 team fouls on Illinois State.
That's his first, and it's number 5 on the Redbirds.
I'm impressed with the way Southern Illinois is hanging around here, Debbie. Illinois State has shot it well, and yet the 8 seed trails just by 4.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the intensity, particularly in that last defensive possession that they came out with. Illinois State needs to stick to their basics.
Rashad Tucker traveled with it after picking up the offensive rebound.
You can just sense Kevin Stallings has a lot of confidence in his guys. They're veteran, they're experienced, they've been down this road before. You can just look at him and know that he knows his team knows how to battle and can handle anything that's thrown at them.
Underneath, Rico Hill. Turnaround and pop home, Rico Hill.
Hill is so tough with his back to the basket. He's so dangerous inside.
Rico Hill has 6 points. Illinois State leads 30-24 with 6:25 remaining in the first half.
It's a war in the paint inside.
And here's Schaefbauer is injured. Schaefbauer is down. We need to remind you that Skip Schaefbauer has a quadricep pull, and it looks like that is an injury that has been aggravated here, Debbie.
Schaefbauer really struggling right now, in a lot of pain. The guys of battle, you can see it's cramping up on him. Got caught underneath the basket, tangled up with a rebound. And he went down hard.
A reminder, when you're traveling, stay at Drury Inns and Suites. Drury Inns offer a free quadry. Schaefbauer already has 1 3-point make in the game, 66 now for the year, and was a big factor last year in the championship victory in this tournament by Illinois State over Southwest Missouri State when he hit 5 threes and had 15 points in the championship game. The last foul was called on Kyle Cartmill of Illinois State. That is his 2nd personal foul. 6 team fouls on the Redbirds at this point. 30-24 is the score. Illinois State with the lead of 6 points. 6:19 remaining in the first half here. In quarterfinal game number 1. The 1 seed Illinois State and the 8 seed Southern Illinois. Later the 4 seed, and will match up against the 5 seed. That's Wichita State against Indiana State. The 2 seed in the tournament is Creighton, and they will play in a game that later Debbie and I will have. They'll play the 7 seed, the Bradley Braves, which is an interesting story. Let's go back to our studio now, and here's Dan McLaughlin. As again we have a break in the action, a injury aggravation to Skip Schaefbauer, and it appears to be even more serious now. Skip Schaefbauer is in a good deal of pain, Debbie.
The guy went down hard. He got tangled up. There were several Saluki jerseys around him. This guy's an athlete. I mean, Schaefbauer is a competitor. He's an athlete. He's been in the program 2 years for Illinois State and has had great success while he's been there for Kevin Stallings. Of course, he didn't start the game today.
And he is really fighting a lot of pain right now. Skip Schaefbauer is in a good deal of pain and is really fighting. And I tell you what, this kid is courageous. He started his career at East Carolina. An interesting story here, Debbie. Illinois State played East Carolina when Schaefbauer was there. Illinois State won on the road in Greenville, North Carolina, beating Illinois State won that game over the East Carolina Pirates. After the game, Illinois State was getting ready to leave, and they saw a guy from East Carolina out shooting the basketball after the gym had been emptied. It was Skip Schaefbauer. And when Eddie Payne left East Carolina to go to Oregon State, Skip Schaefbauer wanted to transfer. He called Illinois State, and Illinois State remembered him as the kid that came back after the game and did his shooting.
Kevin Stallings says, that's the kind of kid I want to have in my program. Guy who's dedicated, who works hard. And you could see that he is in a lot of pain. There's King Rice. Great story on him, North Carolina Tar Heel. And, you know, I think what's interesting about King Rice and his connection with Kevin Stallings is the fact that Kevin Stallings the last 4 years has had a point guard lead the Missouri Valley Conference in assists. Credit that to King Rice. He was a great point guard at the University of North Carolina. Jamal Smiley on the floor for Illinois State has led the Missouri Valley 3 years in a row in assists. And Smiley credits a lot of that to the development that he's had underneath King Rice.
And I'm impressed with you saying that, Debbie, because you're a graduate of NC State.
It's kind of tough to talk about the Tar Heels. You're right, Mitch.
Let's take a look now at the brackets in the tournament. Last night there were 2 play-in games. Southern Illinois, Wallop, Northern Iowa to advance as the 8th seed. Right now, Southern Illinois trails Illinois State 30-24 in this game. Later, I mentioned Wichita State, a team that was hot at the end of the season. The 4th seed, they will play Indiana State, Royce Waltman's team, one of the great surprises in the Midwest this year. The 7th seed, Bradley, will play the 2 seed Creighton. And Debbie, this is a real interesting first-round matchup because Bradley actually swept Creighton during the regular season.
Well, there's a scary matchup as well because Bradley is so good at the defensive end. And when you are so sound fundamentally at the defensive end of the floor, you can be in a lot of games. You'd expect that Bradley will be able to stay in that game and keep that thing tight with Creighton.
And also the 3 seed, as we had on the screen there earlier, the 3 seed in the tournament, Southwest Missouri State, will play Evansville in a battle of 2 old Indiana Hoosiers. Steve Alford, the head coach of the Southwest Missouri State Bears, and Jim Cruz, the head coach of the Evansville Purple Aces, both Indiana graduates. Skip Schaefbauer still down with an injury. They have brought out the cart to take him off. And of course, not a good situation for Skip with the Illinois State Redbirds. I see this all too often in the National Football League when they bring out that stretcher, and not a good situation. Mitch Holtis with you at courtside along with Debbie Antonelli. We're here at Kiel Center in quarterfinal game number 1, which has been stopped because of the injury to Skip Schaefbauer. And the first thing we worry about here is the health and the well-being of Skip Schaefbauer.
Oh, absolutely. You don't want a guy like this who's been such a valuable contributor to your program on and off the floor to suffer like this. It kind of breaks your momentum from an Illinois State perspective.
Skip is from Elk River, Minnesota, up in the Twin Cities area. His mother is now down on the floor and near Skip as the Illinois State sports medicine people and their doctors. And then you can see the parents of Skip Schaefbauer and a lot of concerned people trying to play with a quadricep pull in this game and aggravated that injury. And boy, the looks we had on him on camera, Skip Schaefbauer in just a great deal of pain.
Now, Mitch, I don't pretend to be a doctor, but sometimes when you have that quadricep problem, it leads into a hamstring problem as well. And the way Skip Schaefbauer was grabbing onto his leg, it appears to me that he's got a major problem there on both sides of his quadricep.
We want to give you accurate information here on the injury to Skip Schaefbauer. Now it appears to be beyond a quadricep pull or the aggravation of that. Now they're saying a potential broken femur, which would be a broken bone in the upper leg for Skip Schaefbauer. And that would be a very, very serious situation for Skip. As Skip Schaefbauer and a lot of concerned people around Skip. And you just hate to see this at any level with any athlete. And one of the risks, I don't care what you play, if it's lacrosse, field hockey, baseball, basketball, football, the injuries. And when you see an athlete go through this, and this has an effect on both teams. This is very similar to what I see in the NFL when they have a serious injury, and the concern for both teams in this situation. There you see his Illinois State teammates, but I'm going to guarantee you Southern Illinois is just as concerned, and it does put this game in perspective for both players. As you can see, the SIU players as well concerned about Skip Schaefbauer of Illinois State.
These guys are competitors, Mitch. There's no question they want to win, but they want to win when you're going at your best. And anytime you have a major injury like that and somebody go down as an integral part of your team, you're right. It does affect both sides, and it will definitely affect the tempo of this game, particularly in the next few possessions.
I like what you said about being competitors. They are compassionate competitors. And there's a great respect in this conference of the 10 teams in this league. And there you see the Schaefbauer family. We are told it is a broken femur for Skip Schaefbauer, a very serious injury. Not something you see a lot in basketball. And yes, it is a time for contemplation and prayer for Skip. As you see his mother holding his hand. A tough kid, but I don't care how mentally tough you are. with this kind of injury, a very, very difficult situation for Skip. And when we resume this game, Illinois State will have a lead of 30-24 with 6:19 remaining in the first half. As you see, Skip Schaefbauer being taken from the Kiel Center floor. The paramedics on hand being taken off on the stretcher. And Skip Schaefbauer is grimacing in pain. Now here's the play that had happened on the injury to Schaefbauer. See if we can take a look at it, Debbie.
There you see the ball go up and Schaefbauer gets tangled right there underneath. And you can see right, oh, he's grabbing his leg right there. That doesn't look good at all.
Dan Muller called for a foul as we have resumed action here in quarterfinal game number 1. Dan Muller called for his first foul. 17 fouls now in Illinois State. Southern Illinois goes to the first bonus at 6:16 remaining in the first half. Rashad Tucker with the free throw already, Debbie. He has 10 in the first half.
Tucker has been the main guy here for Southern Illinois. He's been very aggressive with the basketball in the half-court situations.
Tucker having himself a heck of a tournament thus far. At 17 against Illinois State in a game earlier this year in Carbondale. 30-26. Illinois State with the ball in the lead, and now they must deal with the loss of Skip Schaefbauer. Rico Hill, great scoop, and he'll go to the line as well.
That's the way to get your team back in the right frame of mind. Rico Hill operating on the baseline. This is why you can't let him get to the sweet spot inside. Good feed, good flash to the basketball. That's a great finish off the glass.
Foul was on Chris Tennell, his first. 5 team fouls on Southern Illinois. Rico Hill, what a year he has had. 8 double-doubles this season, 20 in his career. Completes the three-point play. He's already at 9 in the first half.
And off the made free throws, Illinois State changing it up a little bit, getting into full court pressure.
Illinois State very good at switching defenses. SIU not there. Rico Hill pulls it down strongly. The ball's out of bounds. They're going to give it to Southern Illinois. And I think Jerry Petro's going to correct the call.
He makes the right call there. Cross got his hands on it in transition. I was just going to say, great job of slowing down transition defense.
Illinois State right now with Gibbons, Cartmill, Hansel on the floor. All 3 primarily bench players throughout the season.
Look at Illinois State spacing. They got 4 out and 1 in right now, and that gives them the room to penetrate.
Cartmill strong to the hole. Gibbons touched it last. The Salukis of SIU will get it back. They have a great history here in this city and in this tournament, and a mistake by Chris Tennell.
Just going to comment on how important it was for them to get a good possession. And look how quickly Illinois State looks to attack on the turnover. And they need a good offensive possession here, Mitch. They've got to get something on the board.
Southern Illinois won this tournament 3 consecutive years. Cross turns it over. 93, 94, 95. A remarkable 3-year run when Southern Illinois won the hardware here 3 straight times in St. Louis.
No one has ever done that in the history of the conference. You're right, and Illinois State does have an opportunity to do that this year, should they advance all the way to Monday night.
What about turnovers?
Southern Illinois with 5, Illinois State with 4. 3 of those Illinois State turnovers came at the hands of Smiley, the point guard. And Rich Herron commented before the game talking about how important the matchup on Smiley was going to be in order to try to stop Illinois State's transition. They are so good and have all the quick hitters in the transition game.
33-26, Illinois State, the 1 seed, with the lead of 7 in the ball at 4:55 remaining in the first half. Hill for 3. Tucker in a hurry. Here comes SIU. All the way is Tucker. Tillman tips it in.
They crash the glass, Mitch, every possession. And when you try to score in transition like they do, and they play so up-tempo, you've got to match up very quickly at the midcourt line and make sure you get a body on somebody.
Rico Hill, beautiful hook over the top of Chris Tennell. Rico Hill has 11 points.
So Shane Hawkins has done a very good job of letting the game come to him. He's not forced any shots tonight.
Foul underneath. Might be on Hill of Illinois State. Jerry Petro is going to make the call. It's on Hill, and that's his second foul.
Southern Illinois comes at you in a wave at the rebounding. They just go to the glass, and you've got to box them out, and you can't just put a body in front of them and be between them and the basket. You've got to push them out of the lane.
Kristen L., newcomer of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference, started his career at Florida International and is really coming home. He's from O'Fallon, Illinois, in the St. Louis area. He had a double-double last night in a win over Northern Iowa with 11 points and 10 rebounds. And he appears to be a nice compliment to people like Rashad Tucker, Monte Jenkins, and Shane Hawkins.
What he's done is allowed Tucker to move out on the perimeter instead of having to play with his back to the basket in the power forward position, and that's been great for the running game of Southern Illinois.
Rashad Tucker with a little twist to the ankle. 35-30. Illinois State leads by 5. Hawkins has yet to score. Great defense by the Redbirds on him.
Hawkins forced that one, Mitch.
To the cup. Hansel with a layup.
In traffic, in and out, dribbling between the Southern Illinois players. They've got to stop the basketball. That's rule number 1 in transition.
Steve Hansel with a little God Save the Queen basket. He's from England. And it's 37-30 for Illinois State. Hawkins forced that three. And another offensive rebound for Southern Illinois. Cannell bangs it home.
That's a much better three for Cannell to take a look at from the top of the key. They took the ball to the baseline, it flattens out the D, and then you're open at the top.
Gibbons, he'll answer.
Or you can do it with a little penetration and open them up at the top of the key.
We got a dandy here, Debbie Antonelli. 3:03 remains first half. 39-33, Illinois State with a lead of 6.
Illinois State back in the 1-3-1 zone, which they had good success with against Southern Illinois. It takes away some penetration to the middle of the lane, and they did a better job of boxing them out.
12 to shoot for SIU, and they'll throw it away. Hawkins with a turnover. Shane Hawkins yet to score. He did not have a 2 in the regular season against Illinois State. The Birds lead by 6. Regular season was 7 of 19 on threes against Illinois State. He had no 2s and no free throws. Only 7 threes. Today, he shut out.
Well, he's not letting the game come to him, and really Southern Illinois is not trying to set some screens to help him get open.
39-33, Illinois State with the lead now. A steal by Hawkins. If you joined us late, Illinois State Skip Schaefbauer was taken off the floor in a stretcher with a broken femur. But both teams have played well here in the first half. Chris Cannell has 13 first half points.
That's a great pivot down on the baseline. Cannell showing his versatility from beyond the arc as well as down on the baseline.
39-35, Illinois State with a lead of 4. 1:45 remaining in the half. Muller. 4 3-pointers in the game for Dan Muller. He has 12. That ties his season high in 3-point makes.
And he's doing it quietly, Mitch. He's just going about getting the threes within the offensive system. He's not trying to make something happen besides taking what the defense gives him.
Monte Jenkins triggers and misses. Illinois State will hurry. Smiley leading the break. Finds Hansel. Hansel the layup.
Steve Hansel.
5 unanswered for Illinois State.
If they don't get it on the first option, they're going to get it on the second option. Illinois State is so good at attacking the basket in transition.
And the Redbirds lead by 9, 44-35. Less than a minute remaining first half. Smiley handing Rashad Tucker. Tucker for 3. And Gibbons with the rebound. State will call timeout. They'll use the first half 20 to set their strategy for the last 29 seconds of the first half. There is 28 seconds on the shot clock, 29.1 seconds on the game clock.
Well, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. And Coach Kevin Stallings doing a great job of trying to set up the offensive play that he wants. There wasn't a transition opportunity, so you might as well go ahead and burn it. Take the 20, set up the play you want, get...
A big-time official from Mattoon, Illinois. And also we'll have highlights and stats for you at half. Illinois State will play for the final shot of the half.
Running the 1-4, which gives Smiley the opportunity to penetrate and try to create.
Smiley against Jenkins. There's contact and a foul on Southern Illinois.
Smiley doing a great job of executing that play, getting the ball to the middle, looking to score. Strong move to the basket.
Jenkins, his first, number 6 on the Salute.
And Smiley will shoot free throws. He's 70% at the line for the year. He has yet to score in this game. It's been a tough game for lead guards. Shane Hawkins nor Jamar Smiley have been able to score.
Smiley did everything right executing that play. The 4 low on the baseline. He took the ball to the middle. He penetrated, created an opportunity to get to the free throw line. For Illinois State as a team is pretty good from the line. They've been to the line 100 times more than their opponents, which adds up to be a lot of points for them.
Smiley last year 10 assists against Indiana State in a first-round Arch Madness victory here in St. Louis. Kevin Stallings getting Kyle Cartmill with 2 fouls and Rico Hill with 2 fouls out of the game. Both free throws missed by Smiley. Hawkins trying to load up. Partially blocked. And halftime is announced here at Arch Madness at Kiel Center. At halftime, the number 1 seed, Illinois State, leads Southern Illinois 44-35. And reminder, coming up at halftime, Dan McLaughlin will be in studio with a lot of stuff. Welcome back to Kiel Center in downtown St. Louis. Illinois State, the Redbirds, the number 1 seed, leads Southern Illinois 44-35. The story of the game, Dan Muller, he has been hot for Illinois State. 4 3-pointers, and that ties his career high for this season. Shane Hawkins, he has been held scoreless for Southern Illinois, and that is the story for the Salukis. 44-35, the number 1 seed, Illinois State on top. Hi, everyone. Dan McLaughlin here in our MVC studios. In just a moment, we will visit with the coordinator of men's basketball officials for the MVC the past 7 years, and that is Jim Bain. A lot of action coming up. This is our first of 4 games. We have tons of action coming up as we show you on our screen. First of all, you see this game. It's Illinois State and Southern Illinois, and of course Illinois State on top. After that, Wichita State and Indiana State. Under first-year head coach Royce Waltman, the Sycamores have clinched their first winning season since 1980. That is the number 4 and number 5 seeds. Then Creighton will take on Bradley, the number 7 seed, against the number 2 seed. Creighton comes in with a 9-game winning streak. Rodney Buford averaging 19 for Creighton. And then the final game of the evening, Southwest Missouri State, the number 3. Up, it's Mitch Holtis and Debbie Antonelli with second half action. Kiel Center, the Illinois State Redbirds lead the Southern Illinois Salukis 44-35 at halftime. Hi, everybody. Mitch Holtis along with Debbie Antonelli. And what we've seen is Illinois State proficient at shooting the basketball in the first half.
Oh, absolutely. They're getting the looks they want because in the half-court set, they're running the plays to get the shots where they want them from who they want to take them.
And yet,
Illinois State has been about establishing presence in the middle. Leroy Watkins with 8 first-half points, and they've got the balance because Muller is burying them from outside. He is 4 for 4 from outside, but for Tucker and Southern Illinois, he is so dangerous in the middle of the floor, and then when they get this thing up and running, they are great on the offensive glass. 11 Southern Illinois offensive rebounds, 0 for Illinois State.
Take a look now at our stats presented by TWA, and these amplify the shooting stats you're alluding to and the rebounding dominance by Southern Illinois.
Check out that second chance points, that last line. That tells the story right there why Southern Illinois is able to hang around in this basketball game despite the excellent offensive execution in the half court by Illinois State.
Scoring leaders, Illinois State, Dan Muller with 12, Rico Hill with 11, not a surprise. While Southern Illinois has Chris Tennell with 13. There is Rich Herron in his 13th season as the head coach of the Salukis. Tennell with 13, Tucker with 11, but Shane Hawkins with none, and Monte Jenkins with just 5. There's Mueller leading the way for Illinois State with 12 points. All of those are on threes, which ties his season high three-point makes on several occasions at 4 beyond the half moon. The biggest lead of the game in the first half was at the half for Illinois State. Plus, Debbie, they ended with a 5-0 run, which extends to 7-0 now with a bucket by Rico Hill.
Again, great spacing, good ball movement. They get the reversal and they get the shot where they want it on the floor.
And check out the number. When they lead at halftime, they win the game, 17-0. The Redbirds are 21-5 this season. There's 2 losses in the league this year, both to Southwest Missouri State, which is the 3 seed in the tournament.
Here's Southern Illinois showing a little patience in the half court. Look at the good defensive soundness Illinois State is playing within the half court.
There's a lot of discussion about Dan Mueller being a great defender, but this kid right here, Jamar Smiley, is taking Shane Hawkins out of the game.
Hey, you can be good on the ball, but what Smiley has done has been great off the basketball in keeping the ball out of Hawkins' hands from beyond the arc.
Double-digit lead for the 1 seed. The Redbirds from just up the interstate in Normal, Illinois. Hill. Yes, Rico Hill has 15 points. And the Redbirds applaud. Rico Hill last year in Arch Madness had a great 3-game run of 21, 29, and 31 points when the Redbirds won the tournament.
Great backdoor cut by Tucker. Didn't finish, but gets the contact and now gets to the line. Illinois State does the right thing. They want to force you baseline. They want to look to force you into the help where they can get a trap. That is 3 for Leroy Watkins, and that could hurt Illinois State. They got to have him on the floor with as good as he's played to help with their balance. Take a look at this backdoor cut right there. Mueller forcing Tucker backdoor. The help's not there, but it's there on the foul. That's Watkins' 3rd.
Tucker able to knock down both free throws. He has 13 points, 5 of 5 at the line for the game. 48-37, Redbirds by 11. Watkins. This is out of bounds to Southern Illinois.
Coming out of the half, Kevin Stallings' team knows they've got to get on the offensive glass a little bit. But hey, they haven't missed many. It's tough to rebound at the offensive end when you don't miss very many. They're getting good looks at the offensive end. And defensively, their intensity stepping up a little bit. I'm looking for Rico Hill to do a much better job on Tennell this half.
18-15 remains in our first quarterfinal game of the day. Strip. Smiley knocks it loose. Mueller trails. Could be his 5th 3. Forced that one. And this time, Southern Illinois out-rebounds itself.
Now, Mitch, you talked about it before. Watch how good Illinois State will be underneath their own basket and executing this out-of-bounds play. They will look, unless they can get the quick hit, they'll look to make 5 passes in their offense.
There's 1. There's 2. Smiley will attack. There's 3. Great one.
Hawkins, you're going to commit that foul. You got to hammer Watkins. You can't let him go to the glass like that. He had too clean of a look. If you can't contest, you better foul him enough so that he can't get that up on the basket. Now, Watkins is not a very good free throw shooter. He didn't make one in the first half. He's 0 for 3.
And 65% for the year coming in. Today, 10 points already over his average. And couldn't get the roll. And the assist by Smiley had set it all up. Tennell fights for the board. 13-point lead for Illinois State.
Boy, Tucker is exciting in the open floor. He can score. He can deal in the open floor. He's good in traffic. Southern Illinois just doesn't finish this. Watch this handle right there and the pass. Tillman shows the basketball. Then the foul.
SIU will put it in. Out to Monte Jenkins, who had 5 early, and then a blanket thrown on him in the late portion of the second half.
Kevin Stallings Jones has done a great job of switching up the D. Now they're back in the 2-3 zone. It's really kept Southern Illinois off balance offensively.
SIU badly needing a bucket, 7 to shoot. Hawkins gets a pick, turns it down, 3 to shoot. Jenkins now for 3, hit it with the buzzer sounding. It'll go for Monte Jenkins. A three-pointer. He has 8 just before the buzzer.
Jenkins made that, but that was not an easy 3 to take, particularly the shot clock running down. Illinois State really executing in the half-court defensively as well.
Rico Hill missing on the 3.
You know, and I think at this time of year, Mitch, you got to have great guard play, but you also have to be very good in the quarter court at both ends of the floor. The other thing you got to do well is you've got to get to the line. You've got to get to the line, have the ability to get to the line and make them while you're there.
And in this game, you better protect the basketball. Both of these teams are packing it loose. There is a lot of swatting going around. Both with no passing lane and no dribble is safe right now in this game. Smiley trying to pick up another assist, but Hansel doesn't shoot it. Again, if you just joined us, Skip Schaefauer left the game in the first half with a broken femur and a baby hook knocked down by Leroy Watkins.
You can't stop that inside. Watkins too strong, too big with the hook. There's no defense for that except for not letting him catch the ball that deep in the paint.
10-point lead for Illinois State. Southern. Tennell trying to shake Hill. Does and hits it. Chris Tennell has 15 points in the game. Tennell at 16 against Illinois State in Carbondale in the game where SIU led with 10 minutes left to go. And now a lob and a foul on SIU.
Watkins is having his way in the paint. There's no doubt about it. They're looking to him, and he's working hard on the weak side for positioning. Great look inside.
Foul was on Monte Jenkins, his second. Team foul number 2 in the second half on Southern Illinois. Leroy Watkins 0 for 4 for the game. He finally gets one down.
He said, yeah, finally, I knew I had it in me.
Don't think he'll shoot the technical free throws, though, if there's a technical later in the game.
Shaking his head.
Watkins also seems to be benefiting, Debbie, from the attention given to Rico Hill.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. You got a star on the floor in Hill who can do things so many different ways offensively. And Watkins just comes to work, puts on the hard hat, gets on the blocks, and gets it done.
Redbirds with a man advantage. Muller couldn't get the 3, and Jenkins was pushing off.
Great call on the weak side. Cartmill had position inside, but Jenkins put his hands on Cartmill's back, pushed off.
3 fouls on Monte Jenkins, so SIU fights a little foul trouble here. The 1 seed leads by 9. 44. They're also getting some other people to step up today.
Well, you know Rico Hill's going to be the guy. He draws so much attention, but look how hard Watkins works off the basketball. He screens to Nell, then he seals, and with the baby hook, he scores. Take another angle right here. Great feed. You can't miss the big target inside. Good footwork. And the guy is a finisher down low.
And if you let him catch that deep, Debbie, you might as well FedEx the bucket in because it's going to happen.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, as much attention as Rico Hill gets, what happens is Watkins gets left not guarded by the best post defender sometimes, and so he's alone to operate freely in there and get the one-on-one situation, which is what Illinois State wants with him on the blocks.
Illinois State looking at an SIU man-to-man. Muller, great ball fake, but deflected. Tucker's been active all day. Hawkins looking for his first points in air ball. Shane Hawkins had 20 last night against Northern Iowa. Zippo in this game.
And he was 6 for 7, and Southern Illinois made 13 three-pointers in that game last night, which was a record in this tournament.
Smiley chasing down his own miss. Illinois State leads by 9. 14:39 remains in the game. Hill wide open. Nobody picks up Tennell, who was Hill blew by him, and Rico Hill has 17 points.
And that's Muller showing another part of his game, giving up his body for the screen. He's the guy that freed up Hill to be able to take the baseline.
The Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year at 17, and the best all-time three-point shooter in Valley history, has his first 2 of the year against Illinois State, and his first 2 of the game. And a foul on Monte Jenkins, I believe, of Southern Illinois.
Well, I definitely think Rich Herron was right about one thing. The matchup on Smiley is key in this game. He's the guy up front that has set the tone, that gets them in the offense, gets them going in the direction they want, and he is so good off the dribble. He's got great quickness with the basketball in his hands.
He's had some monster assist game. 14 assists against Pitt in an earlier game, and he had 14 points against SIU and Carbondale. Smiley with a miss. He'll get another one. Smiley, though, 0 for 3 at the line for Illinois State.
And that's big for your point guard, a guy who handles the ball in crucial situations. But, you know, Smiley, he's not going to shoot over you. What he's going to do is go around you, and he does that very effectively.
And that's Jamar Smiley's first point of the game, as Illinois State now has a lead of 10 once again, 56-46. The Birds with the advantage over the Salukis. 14:05 remaining in the game. And just to make this game a little more juicy, these two teams longtime rivals. Hawkins nearly threw it away. Now it is turned over. Cartmill with a strong layup.
Well, that's athletic right there. That's a high-flying move in the open court.
58-46, a lead of a dozen for Illinois State.
Illinois State in a matchup zone in that possession.
And Muller with the board.
And at the times when they've gone to the zone, they've come up successful in protecting the paint and getting the defensive board, because, you know, the possession defensively doesn't end until you get that rebound.
Excellent point, Debbie. They're such a good man-to-man team, but today the zone has really worked for them.
Well, they're getting killed on the offensive glass. That's part of the reason why they switch it up.
Another tough bucket by Kyle Cartmill.
Southern Illinois has got to have, that's a good timeout. They need to have a good possession offensively before this thing gets run away from them.
One of the reasons, Kyle Cartmill.
Not bad for a guy on the all-bench team this year. Check out the ball, moving the ball to his left hand to finish, and then coming off the screen, Hawkins late in recovering, and he buries the 16-footer. Little bench play for Illinois State. They don't lose much when they substitute, intensity-wise, that's for sure.
And talent-wise either. Lance Brown in to rest Hawkins once again. Hawkins appears to have an injury. At the top of your screen, right behind Rich Herron, they're working on Shane Hawkins. He has struggled in this game. And Illinois State about ready to reach a comfort level here, Debbie, if they can get up by 16.
Well, I can guarantee you Kevin Stallings challenged his guys at the half to say, let's not let him get any offensive rebounds. And they're doing a good job of protecting the paint and getting on the glass.
Kevin Stallings, the Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year. Third in winning percentage. Fog Allen in the Missouri Valley Conference first at 79%. Henry Iba at 77%. Third is Kevin Stallings at 75%.
Some serious company there at the top of that list.
The other two guys in the Hall of Fame. .60-46. Southern Illinois in a dry spell and needing a bucket.
Look at the pressure on the basketball.
And stepping into bounds and forcing the turnover was SIU. Actually, the turnover forced by Rico Hill of Illinois State. The Redbirds have cranked up the defensive effort, and they lead by 14. 60-46, Illinois State leading Southern Illinois. 11:45 left in the game. And Shane Hawkins has struggled in this game, just 2 points.
Here's a guy that averages 14 a game, had 20 last night, 6 for 7 from beyond the arc, and he is empty from out there tonight, not even close. Illinois State doing a great job of making him catch it a little bit deeper than he wants to, and he's not getting very many looks at all.
Take a look at the difference in offensive rebounding here, Debbie. Converse of the first half. Illinois State a little more aware on the rebounding end.
Well, you just knew Kevin Stallings was going to let his guys get away with that. I mean, they had to come up and get some work done inside and get on the glass.
SIU hasn't scored in a while. Tucker, contact, no call. And there's a strip underneath, and SIU will get free throws. You take a look at Joshua Cross, whose brother Dan Cross played on the Final Four team at Florida. The foul is called on Rico Hill of Illinois State. That's his third. A reminder to look for the Rawlings play of the game later in this afternoon's telecast. Winning shot, big rebound, key defensive move. We'll show it to you on the Rawlings play of the game. Rashad Tucker, 5 of 5 at the foul line for the game.
This guy's played good. I mean, he has played hard. He's worked at both ends of the floor. He came ready to play today. Illinois State just keeps coming at you. I mean, there's no question watching them play that you know why they were the best team in the league all year. They've got balance. They've got firepower in the open floor. They can score in the half court. They can go down in the blocks if you need to. You got plenty of three-point shooters. And then defensively, they're very sound. And they know what Kevin Stallings expects out of them at the defensive end.
The other thing that's been apparent in this game has been the depth of Illinois State. 4 from Cartmill off the bench. Hansen starting for Schaefer. He has given him 6. Gibbons with 4. And you'd think that would be important in tournament play in particular.
Well, look at the spacing. Look at how they move the ball around. Look to get the penetration and the angles when they want. You don't see Muller putting the ball on the floor trying to take it to the hole too much. I mean, this is a guy that's going to come off the screen and look to score. They play within their roles, which have been very well defined for them. Exactly the way you'd expect an experienced team to perform at this time of the season.
6 seconds to shoot. They find Watkins underneath. He'll bank it in, and Leroy Watkins has 15 points. A little set play with the shot clock dwindling down, and Illinois State scores to take a 14-point lead.
And this is what makes them even more dangerous. I mean, we know Rico Hill, we know Muller, we know Smiley can handle and can distribute. When Watkins steps up and has a big game, that makes them all the more dangerous.
Lance Brown missing a 3. And again, strong catch inside by Watkins, but he traveled.
He hasn't had many mistakes with the basketball in his hands tonight.
Leroy Watkins again, 15 points. Missed some games early. 3 non-conference losses this year for Illinois State, but they lost to Hawaii, a good Hawaii team that was playing great in December. They lost to Illinois Chicago.
I think Tucker got away with a travel there.
And also they lost to Wisconsin, and they had a lot of injuries. Illinois State really had a bunch of injuries early in the season. Traveling will be called on Chris Tennell.
There's another guy that came to play today. Chris Tennell having a great offensive night, getting on the glass. And here comes Hawkins back in the basketball game.
Tennell will leave. They see no injury to Shane Hawkins, although he was working on his hand or his wrist, it appeared when he initially sat down. But Hawkins just 2 points for Southern Illinois. Watkins again inside, but not able to finish.
Well, they're getting the isolation because they reverse the basketball and get a couple passes, and then they look to go inside.
Tucker all the way to the hole, and he's going to get a free throw to boot.
Rashad Tucker is an exciting player to watch within the system that Rich Herron throws on the floor, because the guy can play. He comes out, he loves to have the ball in his hands in a full court situation, and they haven't been able to stop his penetration all day.
17 for Tucker. He is 7 of 7 at the foul line. He was 5 of 5 last night. He's 12 of 12 for the tournament.
Illinois State has done a great job of defending the 3 as well. Southern Illinois comes into this tournament as the best three-point shooting team in the conference. They've taken that part of the game away from them.
Uh-oh, look out. Tucker in the open floor. Cartmill trying to catch up to him. And Cartmill's hustle prevented a dunk.
Great hustle by Cartmill. Just enough presence to make Tucker alter his shot.
Little things that don't show up in a scorebook, but that was a dunkaroo all the way.
Hey, Mitch, you're absolutely right. It's details. That's the other thing about this time of the year. It's the details does those very well.
Enrico Hill has just picked up his 4th personal foul. Take a look at the heroic play by Kyle Cartmill to prevent a dunk.
All he does is get in the way, run a little interference there. Tucker should have finished that. He can score that, but he doesn't, and Illinois State's transitioning the other way. Big swing right there.
And Cartmill came from about 40 feet from the other side.
That's a 4-point swing. It's the basket they should have had, and the 2 they gave up the other way in transition.
Rico Hill again with 4 fouls. The Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year. Has to set down, leading scorer in the league, 4th leading rebounder. Setting with 17 points in the backdoor for Tucker. 19 for Rashad Tucker. And Illinois State's lead has been sliced to 10. 8:35 left in the game. Watkins, Cartmill, not there. Fight for the ball. Hansel underneath with it. Great reverse layup by Steve Hansel. And Illinois State with an important stick back.
You know, Southern Illinois just needs to be patient. They don't need to get in a hurry. I know they want to play quick and play up tempo, but there is a difference in playing quickly and being in a hurry.
Watts with the bucket to make it a 10-point game once again. I mentioned that Illinois State was on the verge of getting to a comfort zone. They are not there now. Not with Rico Hill in foul trouble. And if Jenkins can finish this, it's an 8-point game.
That's an unforced turnover by Smiley. He just didn't catch. He was looking to the basket before he caught it. Now Southern Illinois got a little momentum.
And look at Rich Herron exhorting his team on here.
These guys want to win. They want to win. They want to upset the top dog.
Hansel with an open look. Hansel with 10. 10-point lead Illinois State at 7:14 remaining in the game. Hansel's fouling Tucker.
They have not stopped his dribble penetration all day. He is having his way. Tucker has been very impressive yesterday and today with the numbers that he's put up in these games.
Jamar Smiley with it on a turnover. Monte Jenkins able to finish it. Southern Illinois still hanging around, trailing by 10. The regular season champion, last year's Arch Madness champion, leads 66-56. Debbie, if there's a chink in the armor of Illinois State, it's in turnovers, and Southern Illinois has been able to force some.
Well, they've had 4 turnovers in the last 4 minutes of this basketball game, which gives them 12 for the game. When you got a guy like Tucker, who is great in the open floor, you give him a chance to get out in the open court. He's going to do some damage. Look at his numbers today. His numbers last night were equally as good. He's on his way to possibly another double-double. And Illinois State looking to get in the zone, exactly like we talked about off air that we thought would happen, to take away the penetration.
Hawkins, another air ball. Rashad Tucker can't get it, but Watts does. A stick back. How about 2 air balls from 3-point range for Shane Hawkins? It's a 10-4 run for Southern Illinois. 8-point Illinois State lead. 6:45 remaining in the game. Cartmill fires home a 3.
Cartmill off the double screen. That's getting the shot that you want. Good discipline by the Illinois State Redbirds.
Tucker fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. And
watch the double screen that Illinois State gets at the middle of your screen. Gibbons and Watkins. And Cartmill comes off the screen, and Hawkins doesn't get there in time to recover. Good ball movement, good execution.
unless you have some pepper spray, you're not going to get through that double team.
And you know, the other bit of a stagger there, those 2 big guys.
You know, I've seen a nice adjustment made in basketball, in both collegiate men's and women's basketball, and I'm seeing more and more staggered screens. Many times in a double pick, a set that'd be side by side, but I'm seeing a lot more of those staggered type screens.
You're absolutely right, Mitch, and part of the reason why people do that is because the defenders have a hard time getting through and going around. When you've got the double screen set shoulder to shoulder, you got to go all the way around that, and the stagger screen just makes it more distance that you have to go.
Rashad Tucker missing the free throw. After hitting one, he has 20 points. It is a 10-point lead for Illinois State.
And Southern Illinois is going to pick up into full court pressure right here. Full court man.
6:24 remaining in the game. Rico Hill in foul trouble. Skip Schaefer, a broken femur in the first half for Illinois State. Muller.
That's what you call curling off the baseline screen. Gibbons in there doing his job. He draws some attention down the blocks, but the last two possessions, he set great screens to free up his teammates.
71-59. Illinois State with the lead of 12. 5:53 remaining.
I like the zone right here.
Nice defense by Rob Gibbons to prevent the lob.
Kevin Stallings has done a great job of keeping them off balance. Tactically, he's made the changes defensively when he felt like he needed to stop penetration or get his team on the defensive glass, and it's worked.
Watkins strong inside. Another baby hook, and Watkins with 17 points. How strong was the catch?
The guy is huge. Great hands. He's a target, wide body, and he's into it right now. He is into playing and scoring down low.
Timeout, Southern Illinois.
That's a good timeout. Rich Herron's got to get the timeout to get his guys squared away. The adjustments that Kevin Stallings made coming out of the last timeout was to go to the zone, and it's paid off for his guys. Look at the great bounce pass by Cartmill away from the defense, uses his dribble to improve the angle, and the big guy finishing inside.
And a great catch by Leroy Watkins, and right now he might very well be the difference for Kevin Stallings and the Redbirds. Rico Hill has 17, but he's supposed to have 17. Muller has 14. He's supposed to have 13 per game. It's Leroy Watkins who's doubled his season average.
Not that you want to say this is good news, but for Illinois State, they're doing all of this without Hill on the floor. And when you've got your best player in foul trouble, it gives you a lot of confidence to see your other guys step up and be able to keep you competitive in the head.
Rashad Tucker not able to get the scoop.
Here's a matchup he wants right here. Smiley giving up a lot of
and finds Derek Tillman when he got some double team help on the mismatch. The court vision of Rashad Tucker has been good today.
And it was good last night with 10 assists. And right here, Southern Illinois has got to get a defensive stop.
A lead of 12 for for Illinois State. The Redbirds with a lead of a dozen. There's a foul underneath. It's on Tillman of Southern Illinois. 5 team fouls now on SIU. 4:31 remains in the game. 73-61 Illinois State, the 1 seed to the lead of 12. And if you just joined us, you're tuned in to Arch Madness, one of the best postseason conference tournaments in Division I hoop, the Missouri Valley Conference postseason tournament.
Another unforced turnover. Smiley just losing the handle.
Tillman against Gibbons underneath.
Whoa.
Able to score.
Big bucket by Tillman. That's a tough way to score down low. He did a great job using his dribble to clear hit the defense.
And Southern Illinois fails to fold the 10 here. There's a foul on Tucker. Fouling Muller up high. Second foul on Rashad Tucker. Illinois State still not in the bonus. 16 fouls on Southern Illinois. Illinois State leads 73-63. 4:02 remaining in the game. You see Rashad Tucker there, who committed the foul. And Rico Hill back in with his 4 fouls for Illinois State. Hill pops it in there.
Hey, Hill doesn't even have any sweat on him, and he steps back on the floor and buries it. That
Fresh
guy
legs.
can play.
Fresh legs with the pull-up. 19 points. Right at his average. He scored 20 points in both games during the regular season against Southern Illinois. And Muller's going to be called for the foul, reaching around Tucker.
You know, Mitch, you make a great point about fresh legs, because that is important. Here you've got Southern Illinois trying to make the run. They've got to get this thing cut in half with 3.5 minutes to go, and Rico Hill comes off the bench, and he's fresh, and he buries it. Watch this right here. He catches, squares, fires with a great follow-through. Muller, too. I mean, let's get detailed here. He's giving him the pass right there in the breadbasket where he wants it.
Goes back to your precision basketball you were talking about earlier. Rashad Tucker hits the front end of a 1-and-1. He has 21 points now. And the foul was on Dan Muller. It was his third.
You got to assume Tucker's going to make this right here. Look for the full court pressure, and Illinois State's got to be ready to handle it.
22 points for Rashad Tucker. Southern Illinois fails to go away. They trail by 10 points. State with a lead of 10, 75-65. The 1 seed trying to eliminate the 8 seed here in Arch Madness in St. Louis. Take a look now at our old El Paso game summary. Field goal shooting, Illinois State maybe on the verge of a tournament record.
Well, they're shooting it lights out. It's not just how good they're shooting it, it's how good they're moving without the basketball, which is just as important because they're getting the looks in the spots on the floor that they want them. Rashad Tucker's had an outstanding basketball game. Hawkins not quite living up to his billing here going into this game. An off shooting night for Hawkins, but Watkins dominant in the paint for Illinois State.
And the graphic at the bottom of the screen is correct. A broken leg suffered by Skip Schaefauer in the first half. Kyle Cartmill has been huge in the last 2 minutes for Illinois State. A 3 and now a 2 to keep the distance of Southern Illinois behind Illinois State at 12.
Illinois State here does not want to foul, and they want to continue to guard the three-point line, which they've done a very good job at in this basketball game.
SIU keeps it trailing by a dozen, 3:11 remaining in the game. Shane Hawkins with the ball at the middle of your screen.
Oh, Tucker wide open. You got to give it to him. It's too late.
Fennell finally knocks down a 3 in the second half. His first second half 3. He had 3 in the first half.
Now Southern Illinois doesn't want to foul here either. They want to keep the pressure on and get the defensive rebound.
They chase Cartmill in a trap.
Look at Hill.
Behind the back. Now SIU will defend the shot clock. 15 seconds remaining for Illinois State. On the shot clock. 9-point lead for Illinois State. Deflection and a save. SIU will not quit, Debbie Antonelli.
No, they are playing hard, and they're giving it all the defensive end. Now Muller's got Tucker, which is a matchup that I like to see. Can Muller keep him from penetrating?
Tillman blocked by Dan Muller on a great defensive play. The 2-time defensive player of the year in the league in his sophomore and junior year comes up with a giant defensive play.
Now Southern Illinois might want to think about fouling, and the guy that when he touches the rock, you want to foul Watkins. Let him catch and then look to foul. Foul him.
Watkins with a dunk. Leroy Watkins, 19 points.
I'd sense a little urgency right here if I were Southern Illinois to look to score quickly, get into the pressure.
Illinois State makes that easier said than done. Tillman for 3. Or rather, I'm sorry, Tunnell for 3. Watkins with a board. That may do it. 79-68 lead for Illinois State.
Watkins is the guy you want to foul.
Rico Hill, a 70% shooter. He'll go to the line. That is the 7th foul on Southern Illinois in the half. It will be 1-1 for Rico Hill.
I keep saying foul Leroy Watkins because he's only 65% shooter, but really worse than that in today's game. But the guy has stepped up big on the interior for Illinois State.
And there is Leroy Watkins. Leroy Watkins, let's go ahead and announce him as our player of the game, brought to you by Champion. Leroy Watkins, 19 points in the game. Way over his average of 10 points. The free throw hit by Rico Hill.
Not just his 19 points and how good he was and how effective he was down on the blocks, but that gives Illinois State even greater balance offensively.
And there is our champion player of the game. Leroy Watkins, a senior from Chicago, Illinois. 19 points. Look at the free throw, or that should be field goal shooting. 9 of 12 from the field and 3 rebounds. 80-68, Illinois State by a dozen. And our player of the game, of course, brought to you by the great people at Champion. Tucker, not able to get it. And we need to give Southern Illinois some credit here. This was an 8 seed that we said was dangerous, Debbie Antonelli. and they gave Illinois State all they wanted in this game.
Southern Illinois played with great heart and effort. They just couldn't finish off the run. They got it as close as 10, possibly 8 there right at the end, but they just couldn't have enough strength to finish it. You know, Rich Herron doesn't have as deep a bench as Illinois State has, and Illinois State is very productive when they substitute. And I am equally as impressed as how they step up to the challenge each time they step on the floor with the expectations that they had and being able to try to defend their title.
As Jamar Smiley will set down, the point guard didn't have a great game. 1 point, several turnovers, but that's offensively. Defensively, he was in Shane Hawkins' warm-up and with him the whole game. Let's go to our Rawlings play of the game. A little defense, a little offense. It's typical Illinois State basketball.
Illinois State all over the offensive glass, and here's the block by Muller, and what that results in? Easy 2 the other way. The big guy Watkins, our player of the game, with the play of the game. And our play of the game, a presentation of Rawlings.
82-71 is the score right now. 36 seconds remaining. And Monte Jenkins called for the foul. That is his 4th. And Illinois State will get free throws here as the Redbirds emptying its bench. Their bench, rather. Ryan Crowley into the game. At the line is Nick Stotler, a sophomore from Brighton, Illinois, who's only scored 5 points all year.
Well, Kevin Stallings had his guys prepared to play today, no doubt about it. They made the adjustments to go to the zone, and it paid off for them in keeping Southern Illinois off the offensive glass here in the second half.
And again, the miss by Hawkins, just 2 points in this game. It'll be the last collegiate game for Shane Hawkins, who has had a brilliant career as Monte Jenkins fouls out. But Kevin Stallings, Shane Hawkins of Southern Illinois, a fantastic career, but just 2 points in this game. His lowest point total of the season and one of the lowest point totals in his career. Not a way you want to end your career, but Shane Hawkins, when this game is forgotten, will be remembered as the all-time Missouri Valley Conference three-point shooter.
Rich Herron said it pretty nicely yesterday in a press conference. He said this guy will go on to be a very successful young man and possibly get into coaching if he wants to. He understands and sees the game so well, and no one will be more disappointed in losing than Shane Hawkins, with as competitive as he is. What a great career he's had.
And Debbie, what a great shot that was by our camera people. Greg Logan in the truck. Shane Hawkins down on his haunches. You know now it's hitting. You know now in his mind he realizes 27 seconds remain in his career. And this is not the way he wanted to go out. But a great player in this conference and for Southern Illinois nonetheless.
That's a stifling feeling to have. Everybody who's ever competed has had it.
Donald Van Velzen hit a free throw. As we're at garbage time now, 83-71. Nick Stotler's going to get a chance. Oh, no, he's recalled for the traveling violation. Thought he was going back to the line. Southern Illinois gave it a heck of a run, but Illinois State, as it's done in 2 years in this league now, has had every answer. Tennell with the tip in. 20 points for Tennell.
Kevin Stallings still working the officials.
They wanted a technical foul on Rashad Tucker for knocking it away, while Van Velzen is trying to get it inbound. Stotler, Van Velzen. Shot missed, game over. Illinois State, the 1 seed, advances. The final score, Illinois State has held off the Southern Illinois Salukis. The Redbirds, the 1 seed, advance, winning 83-73. Back to wrap it up after this. The number 1 seed, Illinois State, advances. They hold off the 8 seed, Southern Illinois, 83-73.